Hello, hello, hello. Food topics for today going to be Japan, Ireland, medieval demographics. So let's go. So Japan officially has the first female prime minister. Still conservatives across the world, and dismaying liberals across the world. Yeah, I actually do have the right. All that talk about oh, conservatives are anti-women and everything. It's like, no, we're not. Like, it's a ridiculous claim just to call us sexist. It's like, go F yourself. No, we're not, and you can stop now. Especially when all these people are completely on board with importing people who are anti-women in the culture and religion and everything else, and they're okay with that. It's like, what the? How do you? How do you map that? How do you reconcile those two parts of yourself? Like, you hate us for hating women, so therefore you're going to bring in a bunch of people who themselves hate women. Does that make any sense to anybody? Like, seriously, it's impossible to be a morally consistent feminist and be pro mass migration. It's just impossible. And if you are that, you're not even a feminist. You're just an idiot. That's right. But anyway, first Japanese female prime minister in the line of Abe, but apparently a good bit more conservative. I'm really hoping it's not like just a spark in the pan like Margaret Thatcher, where they had one kind of conservative person who didn't really do well enough to really prevent the rebel wave that was coming. It does seem like from what I've heard, the younger people in Japan are more conservative than the older people, which makes sense. So at this point, every civilization is falling apart. It's just true, and I feel like you can eventually recover if you keep your country. If you can keep your country, you can eventually recover something. If you lose your country, it's all gone. It's not coming back. Um, Demographics are destiny. So I wish her the best of luck. I really like Japan. Obviously, I'm a weeb. Um, but more generally, they have a good culture. It's a culture built around competence and work ethic and honor. And sometimes those things go too far, and that's causing maybe some of their issues, the work-life balance, whatever. But they have a good culture that, if left alone you see, this is the test that I do. If a culture is left alone for 1,000 years, could it get to space? Japan could. There's some cultures that could. There's some cultures that can't. And yes, I do think some things are worth more than others. Science, reason, logic is worth more to society than dogma, violence, and orthodoxy. Hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. Some cultures are better than others. Period. Um, Unfortunately, evolution might have a different framework than what we would like. So, anyway, I'm happy when a country decides that no, we're not going to replace ourselves with another country's people. We're not going to replace our culture with another country's culture. We're not going to just destroy ourselves intentionally. Now, I can see there being some excuses maybe for people in Western Europe who honestly thought that mass immigration would be fine. Yeah, I get it. Okay, you wanted to try it. Okay, great. It was tried and it failed. It didn't fix the economic woes. It didn't fix the fertility rates. It didn't fix the economic pyramid in any country that's tried it. The closest has probably been America because we get immigrants that are basically American already. If you've traveled at all and met people from other countries, you note that there is a cultural similarity and kinship between South Americans, Latin Americans, and um, people from the United States and Americans. So maybe it works for us because it's the same general culture. What's happening in Europe is not that. So I'm glad maybe Japan might learn from Europe's mistakes, which would be nice. I want to have some place nice to go on vacation as I get older, from a selfish standpoint. I don't want another. If I want Pakistan, I'll go to Pakistan. I might actually do that. Nothing against it, but I don't want Japan to be Pakistan. Next issue, Ireland. Apparently, there are a bunch of riots going on right now that are being suppressed. Basically, a 10-year-old girl was raped by a illegal migrant. When have we heard this story before? I mean, dear God, this is why if you can't defend your country against this kind of nonsense, you're a bad person. If you're I can understand you being a Democrat in the United States. You want more economic equality. You want some of the social programs Europe has. Maybe you have some trans friends or whatever, and you want to protect them. I get it. If you're a left winger in Europe, by their framework, which is different than ours, you're an idiot. You're just a complete fool, an idiot, and actually a bad person. To be that suicidal towards your own country, and your own people is unforgivable. It's just stupid. It's really, really stupid, right? Really, really stupid. So, basically, there are a bunch of protests going on. Same thing has happened in other countries. From looking at the video, it looks a bit more violent than a lot of other countries, which is what's going to be needed. And I just don't get it. I don't get how people justify this. It is population replacement. You have people who can't afford houses and can't afford living space being priced out of their markets by the influx of people from other countries that are having a lot more kids than they are. How is that not population replacement? Like, I think every culture has ways to contribute to the world. Maybe not every culture. Most cultures have something benefiting. How can you argue for this? Like, aren't we supposed to respect natives? Europeans are native to Europe by most standards. And even if you're gonna say like, oh, England colonized the world, so they need to pay for it. First of all, bullshit. British Empire also got rid of slavery worldwide by literally sending its naval vessels across the oceans, taking out slavers. That's literally what they did. They spent like a lot of money on it, getting rid of slavery, and they spread the rule of law and a pretty good legal system across the entire world. Look at all the countries that were colonized by England; they were better off after than before. That was just them's are just facts, okay? But Ireland, you don't even have that argument. Ireland was a colonized country. They weren't colonizing the world; they were colonized. What moral justification do you have for replacing the Irish people? What the hell? You're a bad person if you believe in this kind of nonsense. Because frankly, like every culture's developed things and yada yada yada. But European culture is worth protecting. We developed human rights. We developed freedom of speech. We developed so much good in the world. And you're just gonna like take away the places in our lands that we came from. Now, America's a special case. America, every culture deserves to be in America because America is kind of where all the cultures can kind of compete freely to kind of create a new thing. America is a new thing. We're a contractual country. We're based on the Constitution. We have the same set of laws. That's not Europe. Europe and Europe is a set of peoples. They and it's not a peoples that has not contributed to the world. It's contributed a great deal. And for bankers to be like, oh well, the numbers say we need to replace you so we can have the math work out for our models. You know what? Screw the math. The money's all owed to these creditors, these big bankers. And these are the same people who want the money to come to them that are funding the mass migration of people. Like the people benefiting from this are the same people who are promoting this policy. Like I really like to say it's the left, and that is part of it. Part of it is the left that is encouraging this, the misplaced sense of empathy. A lot of it is the moneyed interests. I'm sorry, there's no way to avoid the fact that it's the money interest united with the social left crazies that together create policy that is basically destroying Western is going if unabated will destroy Western civilization. That's wrong and should be fought. And it's not even we're not even replaced by a good civilization. Like or a civilization that's equivalent to us. No, it's not. And if you want to go back in the golden age, 500 years ago they had some stuff. That's how far back you have to go to find them being like modern. Anyway, bit of a spicier video today, but like I'm annoyed. Like I remember having a conversation with somebody. He's like, "Oh, European people don't have a culture. Yeah, we do. We have you're Latino. You have our culture. Like the culture you have is our culture transplanted to South America and mixed with native traditions, of course. Anyway, um, the other topic is kind of on the same vein. Bit of a spicy video tonight. Um, medieval demographics, where people are like, "Oh, don't you know people in the Middle Ages were not white?" Yes, they were. Like, yes, you had pockets of people and random people who came about because everybody always moves everywhere all the time, forever. And Romans brought people. Okay, great. You're calling upon the Romans, who were incredibly classist against poor people and incredibly backwards compared to today. You're using them as your evidence. Okay, great. No, lies, lies, damn lies, and it does feel like there's part of intelligentista that is devoted to deleting my people in general from history. And no, you don't get to do that. You don't get to say that we didn't exist because you take away the future, you take away the past. You know what? We're starting to think you don't like us very much. And it might be a racial component to it. And yes, I know most of these people are white intellectuals. Got it. I understand. Yeah, they hate their own people. They hate their own culture. They hate their own civilization, which is so stupid because their nonsense would not be put up with under any other civilizational framework. So yeah, medieval people were white. Vikings were white. Um, a lot of these groups in Europe were white. No, that's not saying anything positive or negative. It's just a fact. And like, I don't like people bashing my people. Like, I don't think my people is any better than other people. The only people I would say is better than other people is probably Jewish people, to be honest, and that's just statistically true. As far as like patterns are, yeah, you name it. But still, we have a claim to the world. We've been here for a while. And I don't like people constantly bashing us and blaming us for every damn thing. Kind of over it. You know, like, if you're going to make everything one group versus another group, how do you not do that? I'm going to be side of my group because I don't want people similar to me to be gone. Most people fall like that. Most people of every racial group, every culture, and every demographic feels like that. The only people who don't feel like that is liberal white people who have such a guilt complex that they're willing to sacrifice everybody else to satisfy their guilt complex because they don't have a god they can actually worship and navigate their place in the universe that way. I anyway, no. We are collectively done with this nonsense. These vying intellectuals who don't have a leg to stand on it, conflating everything and using false arguments to kind of just lie to us. Yeah, we don't respect you anymore. There's a reason why people don't respect experts anymore because you said wildly and repeatedly false things over and over again, and it took 20 years, but yeah, we noticed. We noticed what you're doing. It's not like super hidden or anything. It's not a secret. It is what you were doing, and we are a little bit tired of it, and don't respect you anymore because you don't seem as hell to respect us. Respect goes two ways. And I don't think this has anything to do with any policy positions. Like, uh, as far as I'm concerned, America does have the best immigrants on the planet. That is true, and they are, as of now, mostly Western in culture, whether they come from India or from South America or from Asia, East Asia. But as the demographics of those regions collapses, and the remaining immigrants we can get immigrants from are of another group that does not assimilate well, is not Christian in background, um, we are going to want more and more strict borders, not less and less. Because I'd frankly like, Western civilization to continue. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Spicy episode, but whatever. Cheers.